This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, you're me. Louie Tee, welcome. You are here on lockdown coverage. Your man Louie Tee is covering the league like a blanket. Week 3 coverage. Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles. This should be a great game, right? Right? Wrong. And the team doing the ass whooping, the ass kicking in this game, not who you would expect. We'll get to that in a second, but first, welcome to the Louie Tee Network. If this is your first time, again, I extend a warm welcome and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content here and into the future as I'm breaking down everything in the National Football League. So subscribe to the channel. Also, I'm on Twitter. If you are on Twitter while I'm doing this video and you're watching, guess what? Use the hashtag #LouieTeeLive to let your voice be heard as I'm breaking this down, and I will answer your comment at the end of this breakdown. Also, while you're there, follow me on Twitter at In The Lab Room. Also, I'm on Facebook. In The Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me that thumbs up, and like the page. So, let's jump into this. Wow, who saw this coming? Damn! I had to jump on immediately because CBS said, man, to hell with that. We didn't sign up for that bullshit. We going to a more competitive game. Damn! When the last time that happened to the Steelers? CBS said, man, I'm going to take a rain check, man. This is getting out of hand. 34-3, these boys are getting spanked. Let's go to some more competitive football. I agree. Thanks, CBS. Love the idea. So I had to come on and talk about this ass whooping and how the Eagles right now are not playing. We all talked about how this was going to be a litmus test for the Eagles. How good are you? You beat the Browns. You beat the Bears. You're not that good, are you? Are you? Okay, let's talk about this now. Likes, dislikes, and this is going to be really quick because the Eagles made this very easy. When you dominate a football game like this, you make it a lot easier on people like myself to analyze a football game. So, first half likes for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Always like to start with the road team. Sammy Coates, that's the lone like in the first half. They did nothing right, did the Steelers, but Ben Roethlisberger did hook up with Sammy Coates. If they could continue that connection throughout the season, they would have found a replacement for Big Ten's big playability in this offense with Sammy Coates. First 3 weeks of the season, he's had a big catch in every single game, so that continues. So you like that if you're a Steelers fan because they were questioning his hands coming into this season because they weren't really in love with him in camp and him dropping footballs. The speed has always been apparent. This goes back to Auburn, but the catching the football part of the deal, that's been in question somewhat. He's been catching the football all season for this Steelers team. Made another big grab in the first half, led to a field goal. Other than that, nothing, and I mean nothing, went right for the Steelers in that first half, and it only got worse from there. Trust me. Let's go to the first half lights for the Philadelphia Eagles. The field goal block. Okay, so Steelers marching right down the field. They've got an opportunity to get a touchdown. They don't get that touchdown. We'll talk about that when we get to the Steelers and their dislikes for the first half. But the Eagles say, okay, look, that's not on us. We didn't drop the football. You did that. We're going to make sure you don't get nothing out of it. You think it was bad dropping that touchdown? We about to make you feel even worse by blocking your field goal. You get nothing and like it. Nothing. So that hurts. When you drive the football down the field, not only do you not get a touchdown because one of your players let you down, but then you don't get a field goal out of it either because it gets blocked. That's tough to stomach. That's big boy football by the Philadelphia Eagles getting it done there. The offensive start to the game was ultra impressive. That's the next thing on my likes list. 3 possessions to start the game, and I'm not going to count that last possession of the first half, but 3 possessions to start the game for the Eagles. 3 scores, a touchdown and 2 field goals. You had to feel good about what the Eagles had done in the first half of this game. Wentz looked sharp. The running game, surprisingly enough, looked really good. And they were moving the football with relative ease in this game. So I thought the Eagles came out with a great offensive game plan, really defensive game plan as well. But great game plan, offensively great execution, and you're up 13-3 at the halftime break. Controlling the pace, I thought that was probably the biggest thing that they did well in the first half. And my biggest like for the Eagles in the first half was controlling the pace of this game. Okay, they dominated time of possession. They controlled the clock. They controlled pace. They had 3 long possessions, and they ate up. I looked up, I was like, damn, the first half is over already. They dominated that time of possession in the first half, and it's because offensively, the Steelers couldn't get them off the field on third downs. Give some credit to the Eagles for getting that done. The defense. How could you not like what they did in the first half? This is the Steelers team that seemed to be scoring points at will early in this season. Sloppy conditions versus Cincinnati last week. Still put up over 20 points in that ball game. Put up 38 in week 1 versus the Redskins. You thought they were going to come out and score points in this game, and the defense for the Eagles simply would have none of it. Shut them down, turned the faucet off. 3 points only for the Steelers in the first half. And as I said earlier, it would only get better for this Eagles defense in the second half. Let's go to the dislikes for the first half. Wheaton with early drops, and really Wheaton dropped the ball all game long. When you don't play in the first 2 weeks of the season, you come back and you drop the first ball that should have been a touchdown in the end zone. It starts to play with you mentally. He didn't recover for that in the game, dropped another 2 passes. His drops were critical because it got the Steelers off to a slow start, and they never really fully recovered from his first drop in the end zone. Wheaton stunk it up in this game. He'll be better. I fully expect Marcus Wheaton to be back and better as this season progresses. But this is his first game playing, and he makes a big boo-boo drop in the first one, and he never mentally got over that first drop in this ball game. Field goal blocked. Talked about that already. That's a huge play in the game because it takes 3 points off the scoreboard. Again, that's assuming he would have made the kick. But again, it was a chip shot. You would like to think that their kicker would be able to put it through. And not only that, takes the momentum away from that drive. It was a nice drive by the Steelers to start the game. You would have loved to have capped it off with a touchdown. Marcus Wheaton didn't catch the football. Okay, got to settle for a field goal. Let's get this field goal. Feel good about what we just did. Instead, you walk away feeling bad about that whole situation. First the drop. Now you don't get a field goal. So now that drop looks even worse now that you don't come away with 3. That was tough. Huge dislike for the Steelers there getting that field goal block. And then Timmons with a senseless penalty. To me, this jump-started Eagles drive. You had them backed up in their own territory. It's second and about either 9 or 11. They throw a pass, and the Steelers rally to the football. Probably was a gain of 1 or so. And he comes in late with a senseless late hit on a receiver, running back, whomever, ball carrier. Can't do that. Gives them a free 15, and from that point on, that Eagles offense, they never looked back in the entire game. Thought the Steelers really came into this game out of sync. I don't know if they thought the Eagles were going to lay down for them or what. They were not prepared for the onslaught that would ensue in this football game. Let's go to the first half dislikes for the Eagles. There are none. When you come out and play the type of football they played in that first half, you got to love the execution, the mindset, everything that the Eagles had in this game. They were prepared to play this game offensively, defensively. They were juiced up. They came out. They dominated the first half and had a 10-point lead to show for it. And then that confidence that they built in all of the things that they did well in the first half, it swelled and it went to a crescendo in the second half. And they ran away with this ball game, putting an ass whooping of epic proportions on the Steelers in this ball game. Got to give them the credit for building that in the first half. So there are no dislikes for me for the Eagles in the first half of this game. Let's get to the second half and my likes for the Steelers. None. There are none. There's nothing good to take away from this ass whooping, maybe other than Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown, but he's going to need help. He's going to need guys to catch the football. He can't do it by himself. Ben Roethlisberger was sloppy in this game, missing wide open receivers. Give some credit to this Eagles defense. They were on his ass. Ben was feeling the pressure, making bad decisions, making poor throws. Should have been picked off a couple of times if Eagle defenders could catch the football. Gotta love what the Eagles did defensively in this game, and you gotta not like anything in the second half you saw from this Steelers football team. Eagles, second half likes. Wentz off schedule on that first possession of the third quarter in the second half, off schedule for a 73-yard touchdown to Darren Sproles. Mighty Mike gets in the end zone, and once you get him out of space, he turns into a punt returner. You can forget about it. He's gone, and that's what he did, making defenders miss, getting into the end zone. That's what Redskins fans have been crying for Kirk Cousins to do. Extend the play. Carson Wentz is going to extend plays, and this is a prime example of what this guy could be moving forward in terms of getting out of the pocket, creating off schedule, and giving their giving his receivers a chance down the field to make plays. It was a gorgeous touchdown pass. Great touches. He got outside the pocket. The Steelers defenders had to suck up and respect his legs. Lays it over the top to a wide open Sproles, who does the rest of the work. Beautiful execution there by Carson Wentz. And then the other, like in the second half, sheer dominance. Sheer, unadulterated, pure dominance from the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. Offensively, defensively, special teams, they kicked the Steelers' ass 6 ways to Sundays, and it wasn't even close. And nobody, and I mean nobody, not the purest, not the most loyal, not the most hopeful Eagles fans saw this one coming. Maybe a win, not an ass whooping. Dished out. Wow, what an impressive. Defensively, getting after Ben. Fletcher Cox taking David DeCastro, an all-pro guard, depositing his ass 5 yards into the backfield, then getting his hands on Ben, forcing a fumble. This defense was dominant in this game. Offensively, doing whatever the hell you want. You want some Wendell Smallwood? You want some of that? Take you some of this Wendell Smallwood. You want some Kenyon Barner? You want some of that? Get you some of that too while you at it. If not for the one dislike I have for the Eagles in the second half, they got a 40 burger potentially on these boys before CBS said, all right, man, we had enough. We don't want no more of this. So that being said, the dominance of this Eagles team is on my likes list, and it just completed. I didn't need to take any more notes after I saw what I saw. I said, this is dominant. I said, oh, shit. The NFC East, look out. We might have a new beast in town, and their name might be the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know about you, but if you were watching Giants fans, Cowboys fans, Redskins fans, if you were watching this, how can you not be afraid? You should be afraid. Be very, very afraid. This was dominant. And I think the Steelers are a Super Bowl caliber football team, and the Eagles took them behind the woodshed and beat that ass. I mean, they took them out behind the shed like a chicken that's time was up, popped 2 in their head, boom, boom. Now, you know they dead, but it only counts as one loss. We're going to talk about the banana and the tailpipes in a second. Let's get to the dislikes for the second half of both teams. For the Steelers, offensive and defensive execution, none of it was good. How can you like anything they did? Like I said, there were no likes in the second half, and because there were no likes, then how could you like anything that they did in the second half? There were no likes, okay? So there are definitely offensive and defensive dislikes. The execution on both sides of the ball was horrible. Again, the only guy out there balling for the Steelers, Antonio Brown. Everybody else got their ass whooped in this game. Period. End of discussion. But Antonio Brown isn't a one-man show. This is a team game. And because he won, but the rest of the team got their ass whooped, you get your ass whooped as a team collectively. So nothing good came of this game for the Steelers. It's just one game, though. Remind yourself of that. The dislike for the Eagles. DGB dropping the touchdown in the end zone on a beautifully thrown ball by Carson Wentz. Oh, that would have been the perfect exclamation point on this ass whooping. Even though they still went down the field and scored any damn way, it didn't matter. But just to see the rainbow and see the young fella throwing a deep ball, oh my gosh, that would have been the perfect highlight to show as you finish showing the score, the ass whooping. Just show Carson Wentz throwing a deep ball to DGB in the end zone over a couple of Steelers defenders for a touchdown. Oh, that would have been gorgeous. But in any event, they still scored a touchdown anyway. That's my only dislike. Damn! Was that an ass whooping or what? Let's get to the nitty gritty of the banana in the tailpipe here, and then we're going to get to some of your comments, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, so check this out. For the Steelers, it's simple. This is an ass whooping of epic proportions. That's fine. They generally don't happen to you, but everybody gets their ass whooped sometimes, right? Hey, you got your ass whooped today. Move on, okay? This is not indicative of who you are on most Sundays. Ben Roethlisberger is going to play a lot better. The defense, you're banged up. Timmons leaves the game with a shin injury, had to go to the hospital. You got your all-world linebacker Ryan Shazier in and out of the lineup, dealing with some stuff. I'm not making no excuses for you. You got your ass whooped. Period. End of discussion. It's just one game. Get this, erase it out of the memory bank. I don't even know if I want my players watching this again. Let's move on to next week. There'll be much brighter and better days for you ahead. Trust me. But today, it's dark, it's cloudy, and it's pouring down Eagle touchdowns. Deal with it. You're fine. Move on. Banana in the tailpipe, this is not who the Eagles are. Simple as that. If you think this is who the Steelers are moving forward, you're a damn dumbass. Okay? They'll be back. They'll be fine. The banana in the tailpipe is don't overreact to this loss. They're not going to lose like this on a consistent basis. Okay? Simple as that. For the Eagles, banana in the tailpipe is, wow, this was dominant. Now, my question is, can you continue to do this? Can you beat teams like the Steelers like this? I'm not saying you got to blow them out, but are you for real? I'm not sure. I think you probably are. At the end of the day, I think that this Steelers team is probably, Eagles team is probably legit. After seeing what I just saw today, and it's still a long season, 13 games to play. I expect them to, kind of throttle it back a little bit, but Carson Wentz is legit. This is a real deal, folks. The Eagles are not playing around. The defense is much better than anybody gave them credit for coming into the season. Offensively, I still think they could be better as a football team, but the way that they're drawing these plays up gives some credit to Doug Peterson and his staff. They are coming up with some great game plans. Okay, I think this offense is okay talent-wise. They're not great. They don't scare me talent-wise. But the execution of this offense and the game plan that they come into the game with week after week has been flawless. And that is all coaching and the players going out executing it. That's the players on the field out executing the team on the field. And that's why this Eagles team is 3-0. And that's why right now they're sitting pretty atop the NFC East. And that's why if you're a team in the NFC East watching this, you should be afraid. But my banana in the tailpipe is they're not going to be this dominant moving forward. They're not going to be beating teams up like this. But I'm going to tell you right now, what games like this do, and we saw with the Panthers last year. Nobody expected the Panthers to be 15-1 in the regular season. What games like this at the beginning of the season do is they build and foster confidence. And what confidence does is it begets winning. You get confidence, you win. You win, you get more confidence. It is a vicious and beautiful cycle. And when it continues to repeat itself, you get teams that become dominant. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with the Eagles, but these first 3 wins of the season are building confidence. Wins build confidence. Confidence builds wins. Once you get to that point where they continue to trickle down the road, that's when you start to see dominant football teams. I'm just saying, damn, this was ultra impressive by the Philadelphia Eagles. So, with that said, let's get to the comment section so we can wrap this thing on up. I got more football to watch. As you obviously know, CBS gave me some free football, so I'm going to take it. So, let's quickly get to these comments. Hirsch Patel says, Eagles are looking damn scary. I am scared, man. You should be. I just said that 5 minutes ago, and I just repeated myself 30 seconds ago. If you're a fan of any team in the NFC East, you should be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Mad Hatter G13 says, we are on the board. Redskins get a half. This is not about the Redskins, man. It's about the Eagles and their dominance over the Steelers. We on the board, though. Feels good, but I'm going to tell you right now, I was expecting to cap my evening off with an Eagles loss, not an Eagles dominant performance. So hard for me to really get too excited. I'm excited, though. Damn it, I am. I'm not going to lie to y'all. With that said, there are no more comments for me to read. So, man, that was dominant. That was downright nasty, trifling, and stinking by the Eagles. And let's see if I got any comments on Twitter before I get out of here. Man, oh man, that was impressive. That was damn impressive. Eagles get it done, and as you can see, there's no scrolling text down at the bottom because the game wasn't over when I did this. This was such an ass whooping that the game wasn't over, and I just jumped on and said it's over. So CBS said it was over. I said it was over. Eagles win. I don't know what the final score ends up. It doesn't matter what the final score ends up. This was dominant every way you could imagine. And wow, if you're an Eagles fan, you should be proud of your boys. And everybody else should be afraid of those boys. It's going to do it for a lockdown coverage here in the lab room. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Man, I don't know how many times I've said this, but I'm going to say it again. Damn, that was impressive. Eagles get it done big time. Blowout over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will see you guys next time. Remember, we're changing the game. One live feed at a time. Eagles fans, celebrate. Y'all just whooped some ass.